Leslie Reyes, and I'm the author of The Zen of Learning to Ride a Motorcycle, and this is my crazy caught in the rain story. So let me just premise this by saying that whenever I do something for the first time, it seems to be that I have to do it as big as possible. So when I got my first motorcycle, I had to buy the most state-of-the-art, expensive electric motorcycle on the market. The first rock concert I went to was Live Aid, which was like basically Woodstock for 1985. And the first dance rave I went to was Burning Man, which had like 30,000 people in the middle of the desert. And the first time I moved out of my house, I couldn't just move down the street from my parents in New Jersey. I had to move as far to the other side of the country as I could and move to California. So that being said, the first time I got caught in the rain was the craziest time I got caught in the rain. It was actually only a couple months ago. I live in California near some very high mountains, they go up to 8,000 feet. And it was a really hot day. It was like 100 degrees out at the bottom of the mountains. And my friends and I decided we wanted to ride our motorcycles to Lake Tahoe, where it was like 20 degrees cooler. So because it was so hot out, like I normally wear a full face helmet, but I won this Biltwell helmet that I wear on really hot days. The face is like semi-open, you have to wear goggles with it. So it was so hot out, I decided to wear that, and I'm wearing all of my summer gear, except I decided to also wear leather pants. And like I said, it's this hot, sunny day. It seems really dry. We all stop by this lake to have a picnic, and then we see some clouds rolling in. And we're good like 100 miles from home. So we start packing up our stuff and think, okay, well, you know, it's really hot and it's not that cloudy out. We'll get home. And of course, it started not just raining, but hailing. And because I'm wearing this helmet that's not a totally closed face helmet, and I rarely wear this helmet, I only wear it when it's really hot out, I'm getting like hit in the face with hail. And my leather pants are getting wet. And I'm thinking, you know, we're gonna have to pull over. We're gonna have to pull over and like sit at a gas station or something. And then just as I thought, you know, I can't take this. Like we were going like 15 miles an hour, sliding all over the road, and then the sun came out.
My first time getting caught in the rain, I was actually coming from the movies. It was dark outside and it was pouring down rain. I had my motorcycle gear on and I had a smoky visor, which is not good for night, but I didn't think I was going to be out that long. And it was raining and it was my first time. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I got on the highway and experienced that the rain hurts when you're riding. And so I didn't think the rain hurt that bad, but it does, even with motorcycle gear. My helmet was foggy, so I couldn't really see. It was dark, and then the cars going by and throwing water on you. So for me, my experience was very terrifying due to the fact of it being my first time. So I thought that it would be better for me to take the first exit and exit off and take the back roads all the way home. Even if it took me 2 hours to get home, I felt like that was a safer point for me to take due to the fact of me not experiencing being in the rain. So I actually took the back roads all the way home, and I felt like it was better for me. It took away like a lot of cars going fast, throwing water on you. I could go slower versus the highway, you know, it's a little bit faster, more cars. So back roads, not a lot of cars. You could go 45, 35 miles per hour. So I felt like that was easier for me, and it made it less intimidating. And also being with someone that was more experienced, it was good that I had someone that was experienced more than me that I didn't experience that by myself. Sometimes riding, you will run into things that you never experienced, and it's always good to have someone that is more experienced than you so that you don't experience it by yourself. But riding in the rain is no fun, and being in Florida, you never know when it's going to rain, because they'll tell you it's raining or they'll tell you it's not raining, and it's vice versa. So now that I did go through that, I am a little bit more comfortable within the rain, but I do still take the back roads. But that is my experience of getting caught in the rain, hurting, getting beat up by the rain, foggy, wet. It's not a good experience. Freezing cold. I did not like it. I hate getting caught in the rain. But thank you so very much for taking the time to listen to me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
So being caught in the rain, I would probably say my most memorable experience had to be back in 2024. This was actually on International Female Ride Day. So me and my husband were going to meet up with a couple, and then we were going to ride to the actual ladies event that was sponsored by Yamaha in Canton, Georgia. So it took us about an hour and a half to meet up with them. Once we got together, we were heading to the event, which is probably about 40 minutes away. So we meet up, we're riding, having a good time with riding, and about 10 minutes away from the event, it just started downpouring rain. Before then, there were no clouds in sight. It was a beautiful day. So the rain came out of nowhere, and we were like drenched, trying to take shelter. We pulled off the road, go to a gas station, try to recuperate at the gas station, drying off and all that good stuff. As we're there, I set my helmet down on my bike. I walked away for like 1 second. My helmet just fell off my bike. Oh my goodness, that was like, just, so flustered after that. Pick up my helmet, and there are pieces on the ground. My visor portion of the helmet was broken off, so I couldn't attach it back onto my helmet. So I had to ride visorless to the event. It's about 10 minutes away, so it wasn't too bad. Get to the event, trying to get my helmet fixed at the parts store, but they didn't have the part to fix it. But it was all good. The food was good, the event was great, met a lot of good people there. We had a lot of fun. So now it's time for us to head home. I don't have a visor, right? But luckily, May, the couple we rode there with, she lent me a pair of sunglasses, and that saved my eyes on the way home. So overall, it was a great event, but the actual day of being caught in the rain wasn't the best, but it definitely made for a good story. So I'm happy to say that I hope I don't have too many more of those, but if I do, hopefully it's a great story to tell.
Hey, my name is Stacy, and I'm going to tell you a little story about how this baby got me through a torrential downpour one night. I had gone out with a friend for dinner, and soon after I got to the restaurant, it started just torrential downpour. Thunder, lightning surrounded by it while we were eating dinner. And I thought, I am not gonna enjoy driving home in that. Had about a 35 minute drive back to the house. So I'm eating, we finish, and I look outside and it's just sprinkling and it's dark outside. And I thought, this is great. So I gear up, even though it's just sprinkling, because when you don't wear your rain gear, that's when it rains, right? That's how it always happens to me, anyway. So I get all geared up, I head home, and I think, I'm so glad it's not pouring anymore. Little did I know that I was heading in the same direction the storm was going. I had about 10-15 minutes left to the house, and I hit that huge thunderstorm. It was pouring, lightning, thundering. I could not see much except the road right in front of me and a bunch of headlights and brake lights and all of that. And I think I really have nowhere to stop. I just gotta make it home now. So I turn onto a 4-lane divided highway and am heading about 50 miles an hour. Can't see very far in front of me,
and all of a sudden I hit the biggest puddle I have ever hit in my life. Water sloshed up to my ankles as I drove through it. Thankfully, I didn't freak out. I maintained my speed. I prayed hard and I made it through that huge puddle and the rest of the way home safely. And I thought, I do not want to drive in that again. But such is life on a motorcycle, right? Ride safe out there.
What's up, y'all? I go by Be Poetic, and I'm here to tell you about my first time riding in the rain. I got caught. I didn't do it on purpose. So this happened around the time that I had first started riding. And I couldn't have been riding for more than 2 months, because after about a month is when I got on the expressway. I wanted to make sure I was completely comfortable. I don't care what y'all do. If y'all wanted to ride sooner, then that's what y'all want to do. But I waited until I was absolutely comfortable, and I decided to meet up with someone that I met on Instagram. It was another woman that rode, so I was really, really excited. And we met up at a gas station. But before I even left, I checked the weather, because if you ride a bike, then you know that we check the weather before we go outside. So met her at a gas station, and we talked about our riding styles just to make sure that we were comfortable, riding together, and to basically shape how we ride for the other person. She had been riding for a little longer than me. I was fresh. So she said that she was going to keep up with my riding style while we were riding. I'm like, okay, cool, because she wanted me to be comfortable. So we left the gas station, got on the expressway, and as soon as we got on the expressway, I want to say we were maybe on the expressway for 2 minutes. It proceeded to rain for 10 minutes after that. And I looked at her, she looked at me. She was like, you want to pull over? I said yes, because I was so nervous. This is the first time I had put on the amount of gear that I had on. I had like a little bag on my back with some water just in case we stopped. Like, I planned on riding this day, okay? So needless to say, we pulled over at a gas station, and the consensus was, we're gonna try this again later. And as soon as we came to that consensus and she drove off, because we were going opposite ways, the rain stopped. And this is why this is one of my favorite experiences, because I think that this experience shaped the way that I ride. I'm careful and I'm comfortable riding in all conditions. So I'm grateful for that experience, even though it felt like the longest 30 minutes of my life, but it was only maybe 10 minutes. So that was my story about the first time I got caught in the rain and how it shaped me as a rider. Again, I go by Be Poetic. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I vlog. I do all the things. I do poetry. Check me out. And I hope you enjoyed this story time. Thanks, Chic Riot. Peace.